I would put some music and some audio cues in this intro.
Hello, Kitty Vickies, it's...
Sorry about that. It's me, Hollow of Dawn, and I'm here to introduce a special project that I made, but due to legal reasons, cannot be uploaded here on YouTube or distributed in its entirety. A re-edit project! But not just any re-edit project, a Higurashi re-edit project! Okay. All the way back in 2017, I dared myself to do an editing experiment with timelines. And considering that, spoilers, Higurashi takes place among multiple timelines throughout its story, I decided to use the first season as a sort of guinea pig to create this proof of concept. I dubbed it Higurashi Timeline, a feature-length re-edit of the show that answers the unspoken question of what happens when you edit each timeline as something that happens at the same time, and much to my surprise, it kind of sucks, actually. It's not entirely coherent as a narrative, not without rewrites to the material itself, but it's not intended to be. Having to butcher the selected episodes in order to fit everything down to little over 3 hours, instead of however long it takes to watch the show normally, this is, of course, an experimental project where each timeline is almost concurrently running with one another. It was something I was proud of making. Then I left it without saving the original source files used to create it. I think I needed to free space on the laptop I had at the time, and they got the chopping block, but I still kept the editing file in my documents. Skip years later to today, and I remember this experiment and decided to work on it once again, using the editing file as a base, creating or gathering new files for the old project, and behold! Higurashi Timeline lives once again. And unlike before, where I simply left the project unseen, I wish to show you, the viewer, the results of this experiment. The problem? It's technically illegal to do so. I can't just dump Higurashi Timeline on YouTube, what with copyright being a thing, and distributing it any other way would be piracy considering I used a copyrighted work for this experimental editing project. Luckily for you, there's a way to experience Higurashi Timeline without me condoning piracy. Down in the description, you'll find a link to Higurashi Timeline's editing file for Vegas Pro, preferably Vegas Pro 19 or later. After that, you'll have to gather the source files yourself, which is to say get the episodes of the original 2006 Higurashi anime on your own and convert your own rips into MP4 format for Vegas Pro to register on the timeline. I won't help you get the episodes. And for transparency, I use the English dub for convenience in editing.
There you are. What's going on? How come you're both so late? Hey, Leon. Good morning.
Yo, you're the one who's always late, not us.
When it came to labeling the episodes, as you can see, I did so according to each arc they tackled, which in this case, I named the appropriate files as Oni Kakushi Hen, Watanagashi Hen, Tatari Goroshi Hen, Miyakashi Hen, and Sumi Horoboshi Hen. I skipped Himatsuboshi Hen because it's a flashback arc and irrelevant to the story Higurashi Timeline was intended to convey, while Watanagashi Hen and Miyakashi Hen are combined into one timeline. Once you get each episode your own way and label them according to their arc and number, it should be able to be recognized by Vegas Pro as files to be used on the editing timeline. I also used music from the soundtrack as well, but whether you want to find and use those files is primarily optional and not needed for Higurashi Timeline. You may need to manually tweak clips on Vegas Pro's editing timeline if you experience unintended inconsistencies or other anomalies, but if done right, you should have Higurashi Timeline in working order and able to be rendered for your own amusement, as at the end of the day, it's simply an old experiment. An experiment in simultaneous timeline storytelling, with each timeline being color-coded to match the different characters of Higurashi. Shion's storyline is green, Satoko is yellow, Rena's is red, and Keiichi is blue. Again, you gotta do most of the legwork here. I can't help you with attaining Higurashi files for this project. Maybe I can answer questions, but not about the method you use for getting this to work. All I can really do is wish you good luck. So yeah, good luck.